Imagine a man waking to the grey half-light of dawn, his breath fogging the chill air, when a rustle stirs him, not the wind at his window, nor the creak of his cottage, but a sound softer, stranger, like a feather brushing stone. He rises barefoot and finds at his threshold a scroll, slipped beneath the door, unmarked, unclaimed, its edges curling as if kissed by an unseen hand. No postman's tread echoes in the lane, no neighbour's shadow flits past. Yet there it lies, day after day, a parchment pulsing with a riddle too deep for words. Its script hums a melody wild and ancient, threading through the silence like a brook beneath ice. This is no mere letter, no idle note. It's a summons, a whisper from the infinite, dropped at the doorstep of every soul that breathes. Wilt thou lift it, or let it lie, a secret lost to the dust? I know that man, for I was he, a stumbler in the murk of my own making, blind to the scroll's gleam. In my youth I stood a skeptic, a fortress of reason with walls of cold stone, my days a march of logic and ink. Prayer, a fable for the frail, God, a shadow for the fearful. Life, I thought, was a puzzle to be solved, a labyrinth where I, the proud artificer, held the thread. Each morn I'd stride past that scroll, my boots scuffing its edges, my eyes fixed on the mirror of my mind. I mapped my path with quill and certainty, a cartographer of the soul, plotting stars of my own design. Wit, ambition, the brittle glow of self. Oh, how I swaggered in that dim tower, deaf to the rustle, blind to the riddle, till the walls cracked and my maps burned to ash in the wind of my folly. What is this scroll, this riddle of the soul? Picture a child by a river, tracing ripples with a stick while beneath the surface currents roar. A mystery vast and alive, unseen by his small eye. So it is with us. Each dawn lays it before us, not a question to unravel with cleverness, but a call to step beyond the shallows. I'd scorned it once, a scholar hunched over tomes, my candle guttering in the Oxford gloom. Sure the meaning of existence lay in my grasp. Yet the scroll hummed on, its tune piercing the din of my books, a melody not of this world, a riddle not mine to solve. Proverbs 3:5, 6 struck me like a bell through fog, a trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. The words burned, my maps were child's scribbles, my stars mere sparks against a sky I'd never charted. This riddle is no jest. It's an invitation, a hand outstretched from the mist, bidding us trade our tattered charts for a compass divine. In my proud days I'd have laughed. Trust the unseen? Absurd? Yet the stumbler's fall taught me, my reason led to mire, my wit to ruin. One morn broken, I lifted the scroll, its weight light as a feather, its warmth a flame no wind could snuff. The world shifted, not with thunder, but with a hush, as if the stars themselves leaned low to listen. I saw it then. Life's truest adventure begins not in solving the riddle ourselves, but in yielding to the one who wrote it, a scribe beyond the veil, whose ink is love, whose parchment is eternity. Each dawn renews the call, wilt thou grasp it or cling to the dust of thy own making? Consider the souls I've met, a cobbler in Bristol, his shop dim with want, who passed the scroll unheeded, his days a slog of leather and loss, a widow in Bath, her hearth cold, who left it lie, her nights a shroud of silence. Their maps failed, their tapers died, yet the riddle waited, its hum unheard. I was there, lost in the labyrinth, till the scroll's tune woke me. This is no tale for the cloistered few. It's the cry of every heart that aches beneath these mortal skies. Thy toil, thy grief, thy quiet despair, all wait its whisper. The cobbler might have knelt, the widow lifted, and found a path beyond their shadows. The riddle of the soul is thine, and each dawn it rustles at thy door, a summons to a road no mortal eye can see. So, friend, the scroll lies before thee. Wilt thou answer? I'm no prophet, just a fool once blind who now squints at its gleam. Let thy voice ring, not a timid nod, but a shout to pierce the dawn. I hear thee. Tell a mate, thy kin, thy stranger by the lane, for a riddle shared lights the world. Take a quill, scratch thy doubts, thy dreams, and lay them at the threshold. Watch them catch the wind of his breath. Proverbs bids thee trust, dare it daily, and feel the riddle turn to song. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and step where shadows flee. Will thou heed the riddle of the soul, let it fade into the silence? The dawn breaks and the adventure waits. Picture a man stirring from sleep, the dawn's first blush painting his sill, when a warmth, not from the east, but from his own breast, rouses him sharp and sudden. This is no son of the sky, no golden disk climbing the Oxford hills, but a fiercer orb, a blaze kindled within the soul, its rays piercing the frost of doubt like a sword through mist. In my skeptic days I'd have sneered at such a fancy prayer. A sun, a crutch for the dim-witted more like. I sat in my shadowed study, my candle a frail stub, my eyes tracing the cold lines of reason's page. Yet one morn the scroll at my door, the riddle of my soul, unrolled with a heat I could not deny. Matthew 6:11 whispers its source. Give us this day our daily bread, not a loaf of flour, but a light baked in heaven's fire, offered fresh each dawn. Wilt thou feel its glow, or let the chill linger? I was a cave dweller once, my world a hollow of shadows, my only torch the flickering glow of my own wit. Life, I thought, was a riddle to master, a puzzle for my mind, a game where I held the pieces. The scroll rustled daily, but I kicked it aside, a proud fool mapping my gloom with a quill dipped in vanity. Prayer, a beggar's wine, faith, a tale for the timid. Yet the cave grew cold, the shadows thick, till a spark not from my candle but from within flared sudden and wild. I'd scorned the unseen invitation, deaf to its hum, till its warmth seeped through the stone of my heart. Proverbs 3:5-6 struck like a ray through the dark. A trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. That sun rose not outside my window, but in me, a blaze no mortal hand could strike, a dawn no night could swallow. Doc Smith in Coventry, his forge dim with war's ash, his hammer still in a shop of echoes. His cave was want, his map a ledger of loss, his taper snuffed by despair. Yet one morn he lifted the scroll, not for iron, but for a spark. He knelt, and the sun rose within, its heat not in his hearth, but in his hands. That day a stranger brought scrap, and his bellows roared anew. His anvil sang his soul with it. This is no poet's dream, it's the daily gift of prayer, a light that turns the cave to a forge, the shadow to a flame. I felt it too, my pen once stalled, blazed with ink when I let that sun rise. The blacksmith's trade, my words thy hidden craft, all wait its glow. Refuse it, and the ash settles. Welcome it, and the world turns bright. So it was with a weaver in Leeds. Her loom silent, her threads a tangle of grief. Her map was sorrow, her candle dim with years of loss. She'd stumbled blind, her sun eclipsed by tears, till the scroll's warmth bid her pause. One dawn she prayed, not for wool, but for will, and the sun rose within, its rays threading through her soul like gold through cloth. A neighbour's gift restrung her loom, and her fingers wove again her heart a tapestry of light. Lamentations 3:22-23 hums the promise, his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. This sun needs no sky. Its dawn breaks in the breast, a fire that mends the torn, that lights the lost. Thy grief, thy silence, thy broken strands, all yearn for its rising. Seek it, and the threads align. I see it clear now, my own cave, my own ash. In my atheist gloom I'd mapped life with a compass of dust, my son a flicker of pride. The scroll lay unheeded, its riddle a jest, till the stumbler's fall broke me open. One morn I grasped it, its heat a jolt, its light a flood. The world shifted, not with fanfare, but with a hush, as if the stars themselves bowed low. I wrote then, I believe in Christianity as I believe the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. This sun within is no borrowed gleam. It's a dawn of thine own, kindled daily when thou sayest, O Lord, rise in me. Miss it, and the cave endures. Embrace it, and the riddle of the soul turns to revelation, a light that sees beyond the veil. So, friend, the sun waits thee, wilt thou let it rise? I'm no sage, just a scholar once chilled who now warms by its rays. The blacksmith, the weaver, they felt it, thy forge, thy loom, thy quiet ache, all wait its dawn. Let thy voice cry, not a murmur, but a shout to rend the morn, ablaze in me, Lord. Tell a soul, thy mate, thy kin, thy stranger by the way, for a sun shed lights the earth. Take a quill, ink thy shadows, thy hopes, and cast them to the wind. Watch them flare, caught in his fire. Proverbs bids thee trust. Dare it daily, and feel the warmth turn frost to flame. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and let the sun rise within. Will thou seek this dawn, or linger in the cave? The light stirs, and the day is thine. Picture a traveller lost in a wood at twilight, his boots mired in mud, his lantern a frail wick spitting against the wind. In his hand a map, creased and smudged. Its lines drawn by his own trembling quill guides him deeper into the brambles, while overhead the North Star blazes a path he never lifts his eyes to see. So it is with us when we spurn the sun that rises within, clutching instead our own dim charts of pride. In my skeptic youth I was that wanderer, a fool in a storm of my own brewing, certain the scroll's light was a fable for the timid. My map, a lattice of logic, its ink the smug assurance that I could steer through life's wilds alone. Oh, how the thorns tore at my heels, how the gale mocked my lantern's glow, till I fell sodden and blind in the folly of my own devising. I'd scorned the riddle of the soul, deaf to its rustle, blind to its flame. Life I thought was a land to conquer, a realm where I, the proud cartographer, plotted the rivers and peaks. Prayer, a crutch for the weak, faith, a shadow for the fearful. Each dawn I'd stride past the scroll, my boots grinding its edges, my hands tracing paths of my own design, reason, ambition, the brittle gleam of self. In my Oxford tower I sat a king of dust, my candle guttering, my maps piling high, each a boast, each a lie. Proverbs 3:5-6 struck me late, a thunder through my haze. A trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. I trusted naught but me. My stars were sparks, my rivers dried, and the wood grew dark with the weight of my pride. Consider a merchant I met in Bristol, his shop a husk of faded wealth, his map a ledger of profit alone. He charted his trade by stars of gold, each coin a point, each sail a line, spurning the sun within for the flicker of his own greed. His ships sailed bold, his coffers swelled, till the tides turned, and his vessels sank beneath waves he'd never marked. Broken he knelt, not for riches but for rescue, and the scroll's light rose in him, a dawn he'd scorned too long. That day a stranger's order filled his hands anew, his trade revived, his soul with it, his folly. Not the journey but the map. His parchment of pride sank him, while the true star waited unseen above the storm. Thy wealth, thy plans, thy fleeting gains, all teeter on such charts, so it was with a widow in York, her days a fog of loss, her map a shroud of memory scratched with tears. She'd stumbled blind, her lantern dim, plotting a path through grief alone, each step a mark, each sigh a line. The scroll lay unheeded, its warmth a jest, till her drift led to a cliff's edge. One morn she lifted it, not for joy, but for a thread, and the sun rose within, its rays piercing her haze. A neighbour's knock brought bread, her hearth glowed again, and her map burned in the fire of that light. Lamentations 3:22-23 hums the reprieve. His compassions fail not, they are new every morning. Her folly was the traveller's curse, trusting a chart of dust over a dawn divine. Thy sorrow, thy silence, thy drift, all cling to such frail guides. I see it clear now, my own wood, my own ruin. In my atheist gloom I'd mapped life with a compass of ash, my sun a flicker of arrogance. The scroll rustled daily, but I laughed, a scholar above such whims. Yet the brambles grew thick, my lantern failed, and the storm of my folly felled me. One morn, broken, I grasped it, its heat a jolt, its light a flood. The world turned, not with fanfare, but with a hush, as if the stars wept for my blindness. I wrote then, we are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and lust, when infinite joy is offered us. This sun within is no borrowed spark, it's a beacon daily kindled when thou sayest to lead me. Miss it, and the wood endures. Seek it, and the path runs clear beyond the thorn. So, friend, the wood surrounds thee. Wilt thou shred thy map? I'm no guide, just a traveller once lost who now squints at the stars. The merchant, the widow, they fell and rose. Thy trade, thy grief, thy wandering art, all wait the same. Let thy voice cry, not a whisper, but a roar to pierce the dusk. Alight my way, Lord, tell a soul, thy kin, thy mate, thy stranger by the road. For a folly shared turns warning to wisdom. Take thy charts, ink thy pride, thy fears, and fling them to the gale. Watch them scatter, lost in his wind. Proverbs bids thee trust. Dare it daily, and feel the thorns give way to a road unseen. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and look up. Will thou flee the folly of the mapless traveller, or stumble on in the dark? The stars shine, and the path is thine. Imagine life not as a weary trudge, but as a dance, a reel wild and free beneath a vault of stars, where the wind itself pipes the tune, and a partner unseen lifts thee from the mud of thy stumbles. This is no prim waltz of the parlour, no stiff jig of mortal craft, but a whirl with the infinite, a rhythm spun from eternity's loom. In my skeptic days I'd have jeered at such a vision, prayer, a dance, a whimsy for fools. I sat in my shadowed study, my boots planted firm, my days a march of reason's dull tread. Yet one morn the scroll at my door, the sun that rose within, swept me up, its warmth a beat I could not resist. Matthew 6:11 hums its step, give us this day our daily bread, not mere bread but a rhythm daily offered. Wilt thou sway to it or stand stiff in the dusk? I was a clod once, my soul a lump of clay, deaf to the reel's call. The riddle of the soul rustled at my threshold, the sun blazed within. Yet I clung to my maps, tattered charts of pride, smudged by the folly of a mapless traveller. Dance me with the infinite. Absurd! I'd plotted life as a siege, a fortress to hold, a war to win, my candle guttering, my quill scratching a dirge. Proverbs 3:5-6 pierced my gloom like a fiddle's note. A trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. I trusted naught but me. My steps faltered, my rhythm broke, till the scroll's heat twirled me from my chair. The infinite reached, and I, half deaf to the tune, stumbled into a dance that turned my siege to song. Consider a fisherman in Cornwall, his nets slack, his boat a husk rocking on a cold sea. His map was despair, his sun dimmed by empty halls, yet he'd felt its rise a flicker in his breast. One morn he lifted the scroll, not for fish but for a beat, and the dance began. He prayed, and the infinite led. No thunder shook the waves, but a nudge swayed him to cast once more. The net strained, silver spilling over, and his laugh rang with the wind's wild tune. Jeremiah 29:11 hums beneath, thoughts of peace and not of evil to give you an expected end. His folly had been the map, his dance with the infinite turned tide to bounty. Thy craft, thy want, thy silent drift. All wait this reel's first step. So it was with a seamstress in London. Her looms still, her thread threads a snarl of loss. Her map was grief, her sun eclipsed by a garret's gloom, yet she'd felt its dawn, a glow in her hands. One morn she grasped the scroll, not for cloth but for a rhythm, and the partner whirled her free. She prayed, and a neighbour's gift restrung her loom. Her needle danced, her heart with it, stitching light into shadow. Lamentations 3:22-23 sings the grace, his compassions fail not, they are new every morning. This dance needs no skill, only surrender, and the infinite spins chaos to harmony. Thy sorrow, thy toil, thy broken strands, all yearn for its sway. Step in, and the threads weave anew under hands that spun the stars. I see it now, my own siege, my own dirge. In my atheist pride I'd mapped life with a compass of dust, my dance a jest for the feeble. The scroll lay unheeded, its sun a flicker I mocked, till the stumbler's fall broke my stance. One morn I let it rise, its heat a jolt, its rhythm a flood. The world whirled, not with fanfare but with a hush, as if the heavens themselves joined the reel. I wrote then, a joy is the serious business of heaven. This dance with the infinite is no mere frolic, but a glimpse of eternity's floor, daily offered when thou sayest, lead me, Lord. Miss it, and the siege endures. Join it, and the riddle of the soul spins to delight. A partner whose steps outpace the wind, so friend the tune plays. Wilt thou dance with the infinite? I'm no maestro, just a clod one still who now sways faintly. The fisherman, the seamstress, they stepped in. Thy sea, thy loom, thy quiet ache all wait the same. Let thy voice rise, not a timid hum, but a cry to rend the dawn. Tell me, Lord, tell a soul thy kin, thy mate, thy stranger by the hearth, for a reel shared sets the world a-whirl. Take thy quill, ink thy fears, thy dreams, and fling them like banners to the gale. Watch them soar, caught in his rhythm. Proverbs bids thee trust, dare it daily, and feel the mud give way to a floor unseen. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and step in. Will thou join this dance, or linger in the siege? The partner waits, and the stars hum. Imagine not a fleeting waltz, but a feast. A table laid each morn in a hall, vast as the dawn, its boards groaning with a loaf no mortal oven could bake. This is no stale crumb snatched in haste, no beggar's crust eked from a miser's hoard, but a bread warm with heaven's breath, broken fresh by a host who knows thy name. In my skeptic days I'd have mocked such a notion. Prayer, a feast, a grovel for scraps more like. I sat in my shadowed study, my soul lean with reason's thin gruel, my days a diet of dust. Yet one morn the scroll, the dance with the infinite, unrolled with a savour I could not refuse. Matthew 6:11 whispers its grace. Give us this day our daily bread, not mere sustenance, but intimacy daily spread. Ah, wilt thou sit at this table or starve in the cold? I was a pauper once, my heart a hollow shell, blind to the banquet's glow. The sun had risen within, the dance had swayed me, yet I saw prayer as a plea, a wine beneath a master's boot, a coin tossed to the life, I thought, was a siege to endure, a fortress of pride, its larder stocked with my own wit. The scroll rustled daily, but I turned away, a mapless traveller charting famine with a quill of scorn. Proverbs 3:5-6 struck me hard, a knock at my gate, a trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. I trusted naught but me, my bread was ash, my table bare till the scroll's warmth bid me sit. The host reached, and I, half-starved, tasted a loaf that turned my siege to fellowship. Consider a baker in Devon, his oven's cold, his shop a crypt of want. His map was lost, his dance stalled by hunger, yet he'd felt the sun's ride with the infinite. One morn he lifted the scroll, not for flour, but for a seat, and the feast began. He prayed, and the host broke bread. No gold rain, but a stranger's order warmed his hearth. His trays filled, his laughter rang, and his soul grew fat with grace. Jeremiah 29:11 hums beneath, thoughts of peace and not of evil to give you an expected end. His folly had been the pauper's error, spurning the table for a crust of his own. This bread of intimacy fed his hands, his heart thy craft, thy want thy silent days all waited savour. Refuse it, and the crypt endures. Partake, and the hall glows. So it was with a widow in Gloucester, her days a shroud of frost, her table a slab of memory. Her map was grief, her sun dimmed by loss, yet she danced the reel, felt its rhythm. One morn she grasped the scroll, not for kin, but for company, and the host sat with her. She prayed, and a neighbour's knock brought pie. Her garret warmed, her solitude melted, not by thunder, but by a loaf daily broken. Lamentations 3:22-23 sings the promise, his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. This feast needs no wealth, only an empty hand, and the host turns frost to fire. Thy sorrow, thy chill, thy lonely nights, all yearn for its warmth. Sit, and the shroud lifts under hands that need the stars. I see it now, my own famine, my own frost. In my atheist gloom I'd map life with a compass of ash, my bread a rind of pride. The scroll lay unheeded, its sun a jest, its dance a whimsy, till the stumbler's fall broke my fast. One morn I let it rise, its savour a jolt, its warmth a flash. The world hushed, not with fanfare, but with a presence, as if the heavens themselves supped with me. I wrote then, we are far too easily pleased. This daily bread of intimacy is no mere meal, but a bond with the infinite, offered fresh when thou sayest, a feed me, Lord. Miss it, and the famine gnaws. Join it, and the riddle of the soul softens to a song. A host whose table outshines the dawn. So, friend, the feast waits thee. Wilt thou pull up a chair? I'm no chef, just a pauper once starved who now tastes faint. The baker, the widow, they sat and thrived. Thy hearth, thy shroud, thy quiet ache all wait the same. Let thy voice rise, not a timid plea, but a cry to pierce the morn. Break bread with me, Lord. Tell a soul, thy kin, thy mate, thy stranger by the lane, for a table shared fills the world. Take thy quill, ink thy hunger, thy dreams, and lay them at the board. Watch them bloom, caught in his grace. Proverbs bids thee trust, dare it daily, and feel the frost turn to feast. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and sit. Will thou taste this daily bread of intimacy, or linger lean in the siege? The host waits, and the loaf is warm. Picture a traveller at twilight, his cloak dusted with the road's grit, standing where the path splits beneath a sky fading from gold to ash. To the left, a lane dips into shadow. To the right, a track climbs jagged and steep. No lantern lights the way, no signpost marks the choice. So it is with us. Life's journey meets a crossroad each day. Shall I speak or hush, strive or wait, hold or release? In my skeptic youth I'd have charged ahead, a mapless fool, my son within scorned, my dance with the infinite a jest. I stood at such forks, my quill charting chaos, my pride a din drowning all else. Yet one morn, The daily bread of intimacy hushed me, and through the dusk a whisper, not a roar, stirred the air. Wilt thou pause at this crossroad or stumble blind into the night? Imagine that traveller again, the dusk deepening, the wind a low moan, when a sound threads through, not a gale's shout nor a trumpet's peal, but a murmur soft as a leaf's fall, a still small voice as in 1 Kings 19:12. It's no blaze of command, but a quiet fire, a nudge woven into the silence like silver in a dark tapestry. I'd missed it once, deaf in my tower of reason, my ears clogged with the clamour of my own will. The feast had fed me, the dance had swayed me, yet here at the crossroad I learned its tender gift, a whisper to guide when maps fail. Proverbs 3:5-6 hums its call, a trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. I trusted naught but me, my path split, my choices broke, till the scroll's savour tuned my soul to hear. Doc consider a farmer in Dorset, his fields a waste of dust, his plough still beneath a leaden sky. His crossroad loomed grim, sell the land of his kin, or so in barren hope. He'd stumbled long, his map a tally of ruin, his dance stalled by drought. Yet he'd supped at the table, felt its warmth. One morn he lifted the scroll, not for rain but for a sign, and the voice whispered as so. No storm broke, no herald sang, but a quiet fire burned in his chest. He cast seed to the earth, and weeks later, green pierced the dust, swelled his heart with it. Jeremiah 29:11 sighs beneath, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. His folly had been the din, pausing for the whisper turned waste to wealth. Thy fields, thy barren hours, all wait its nudge. So it was with a clerk in Bristol, his desk a cage of ink, his crossroad a snare. Quit the toil that paid his bread, or grind on in a half-life. He'd felt the sun, danced the reel, yet the feast taught him stillness. One morn he broke the loaf, not for freedom, but for a hint, and the voice murmured, a stay. No grand flight came, but a mate's aid eased his load, a kind word lit his cage. Lamentations 3:22-23 chants to grace. His compassions fail not, they are new every morning. This whisper needs no fanfare, it guides by hush, not haste. His folly was the charge, trusting the voice turned drudge to peace. Thy cage, thy grind, thy silent strife, all yearn for its quiet call. Pause and the bar soft. Again a widow in Leeds stood at her fork. Mend a breach with a kin long lost, or let the wound fester. Her map was hurt, her dance slowed by years of cold, yet she'd tasted the bread, felt its bond. One morn she grasped the scroll, not for words but for will, and the voice sighed go. No earth shook, but a quiet fire bridged her fear. She wrote, she met, and tears healed what pride had rent. The crossroads dread faded, her path ran whole again. This voice, kindled by the feast, speaks not in storms, but in stillness, a compass for the talk. Thy rifts, thy grudges, thy hidden wounds, all wait its whisper. Listen, and the split mends underhands that weave the dawn. So, friend, the crossroad looms. Wilt thou hear the still small voice? I'm no oracle, just a fool once deaf who now strains for its note. The farmer, the clerk, the widow, they paused, they supped, they heard. Thy fields, thy cage, thy rifts all wait the same. Let thy voice rise, not a timid hum, but a cry to pierce the dusk. Speak to me, Lord, tell a soul, thy kin, thy mate, thy stranger by the way, for a whisper shared lights the path. Take thy quill, ink thy forks, thy fears, and lay them at the dusk. Watch them glow, caught in his hush. Proverbs bids thee trust, dare it daily, and feel the split turn sure. Rise tomorrow, lift the scroll, and listen. Will thou stand at the crossroad and heed, or charge on in the din? The voice waits, and the twilight glows. Picture a road unfurling into the haze, a ribbon of dust and dawn stretching past the hills where shadows dance with the wind. At its edge a horn sounds, not a blast of war, nor a hunter's cry, but a call clear and wild, ringing through the fog of our days like a bell from a tower unseen. This is no summons to battle, but to a quest, a pilgrimage bolder than any tale spun by hearthlight, deeper than the dreams of poets. In my skeptic youth I'd have plugged my ears, a scholar barricaded in reason, deaf to the scroll's hum, blind to the sun within. I stumbled at crossroads, spurned the feast, till the still small voice pierced my din. Now the horn calls thee, each dawn a gate, each step a vow. Wilt thou rise to this quest, or let the haze swallow its note? That horn is no stranger. It's the sun that rises within, now roaring not just in thy breast, but across the wilds, summoning thee to bear its light. I was a fool once, my map a rag of pride, my dance a jest, till the scroll's spark rallied me from my cave. Matthew 6:11 echoes its charge. Give us this day our daily bread. Not a whisper now, but a trumpet to grasp the flame and stride. Picture a torchbearer on that road, his fire not flickering, but blazing a trail through dusk. I felt it. My pen once dull flared with ink when I answered. This call bids thee not to hoard the sun, but to lift it. Thy toil, thy gloom, thy silent hopes wait its glow. Refuse, and the haze thickens. Rally, and the quest burns bright. The dance with the infinite joins the chorus. A reel not for one, but for all, its rhythm a summons to sway as a throng. I'd balked at the waltz, a clod in my gloom, till the partner spun me free. Now the horn calls thee to step in, not alone, but with every soul who hears the beat. I knew a carpenter in Bath, his source stilled by want, who prayed one dawn. The sun flared, the dance swayed, and a mate's aid sharpened his craft anew. This quest is no solitary trek, it's a host of dancers, each cry a step. I march, share it, and the reel swells, hoard it, and the tune fades. The daily bread of intimacy widens the call. A table not for the few, but for the weary, its loaf a pledge to walk together. I'd seen prayer as a pauper's crumb till it fed me full, a host who bids me not just sit, but rise and serve. A seamstress in York her loom bare supped there daily. The horn stirred her, and a neighbour's thread wove her days anew. Lamentations 3:22-23 chants the grace, his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. This feast spills over, a summons to break bread with the lost, to lift the cup with the broken. Thy table stands empty till thou answerest. Join it, and the quest runs rich with kin. Starve alone, and the gate shuts. Dine, and the road glows warm. The crossroad and the still small voice tune the horn sharp. Each fork a threshold, each whisper a guide. I'd blundered through choices deaf to its hush, till the feast taught me to hear. A farmer in Devon faced his fork, sow or sell, and the voice said, a sow, his fields bloomed. A clerk in London, his fork at desk or flight, heard a stay, his burden eased. The horn gathers them all, every soul who paused, who heeded, who stepped. Thy forks loom, thy kin, thy craft, thy quiet ache, yet the whisper joins the cry, walk with me. This quest wins through shadows, and the call bids thee not just choose, but trust daily fiercely till the haze lifts. Heed it, and the compass turns true. So friend, the road beckons. Wilt thou take up the quest? I'm no captain, just a pilgrim once lost who now squints at the dawn. The sun rallied me, the dance swept me, the feast filled me, the whisper led me. Now the horn summons thee. Let thy heart roar, not a timid inwa, but a shout to rend the skies. I go, Lord, tell a soul, thy mate, thy kin, thy stranger by the dusk, for a call shared lights the world. Take thy quill, ink thy fears, thy dreams, and fling them like torches to the wind. Watch them blaze, borne by his breath. Proverbs bids thee trust, dare it daily, and charge where shadows flee. Sing with me, Lord, light my flame, whirl my reel, feed my soul, guide my path. In Christ's name, amen. Will thou heed the call to the quest, or linger in the haze? The horn rings and the road waits.